You are my honey bun, sugar plum, pumpy umpy.
This week's episode of The American Dream, we have little Molly, our granddaughter, making her cameo appearance.
All right, Mr. DeMille, I'm ready for my close-up.
Because she's a hungry little toddler.
You know that's right. And the reason why we have Molly in this week's episode is because we're going to be talking to my next door neighbor, Megan, with Feeding Littles. Unbelievable story of how she got into her business and is now a successful entrepreneur. So please stay tuned and follow along. On today's episode, we're super excited to have our next door neighbor, Megan, who is the co-founder of Feeding Littles. And we couldn't be more than glad to have you do this. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So Feeding Littles, tell us a little bit about it.
Sure. So Feeding Littles is an online company for parents. My business partner is a feeding therapist, and I'm a registered dietitian.
Okay.
And so we combine our expertise and our experience working with this audience to help parents have online tools that they can use with their family. Feeding Littles kind of started by accident, as many good things do, I think.
Right.
And when I was 9 months pregnant with my first baby, I got laid off from my job in a startup company, which was really jarring and scary. And when I decided to figure out what to do, I started working at a birth center in town, and I was teaching classes on prenatal nutrition, and they asked me to teach an infant feeding class. So I did a lot of research and tried it with my daughter, and I started teaching classes locally. And we started a Facebook group, and people were excited about it and loved it. We knew we wanted to do something about toddlers and picky eating. My infant class was in person, but we wanted to do something online. And we thought it would be so easy to just write an online course. 18 months later, we finally released it. The first weekend we launched, we sold 300 courses, which is quite a lot, 10% of your audience. Blind faith, just completely trusting. And then we sold a course here. What we didn't realize is we needed to really harness the power of social media, but specifically Instagram.
Right.
And that's what's really been what happened for us. We basically now have figured out kind of our model of providing enough free information and helpful content that people know that they can trust us and know who they're working with, essentially.
Right. The presence on social is outstanding. I mean, you guys almost have almost 500,000 followers?
Yes,
right
it's
now?
crazy. Yes, it's very overwhelming.
Yeah.
And we're very grateful for it. And it's something that I always knew I wanted to help people learn how to kind of raise their kids in a positive food environment. Judy and I have the opportunity to start right from the beginning.
One thing that I noticed that when I'm following you online is you have so many cool little gizmos and gadgets and stuff.
The gear is good.
One with the tractor.
Yes.
Like, where was that when I was a
I
kid?
know. Well, and we tell people, you don't have to buy all of these things, but it is kind of fun sometimes to make mealtime more interesting. So,
Because it is not that much fun with a toddler,
it's not.
is it?
And if you think about it from their perspective, they have to eat, probably 5 times a day. But sometimes their desire to develop and play trumps their kind of hunger. And we need to sometimes bring play into the mealtime. We're not tricking them to eat or bribing them. It's just making it a little bit more developmentally appropriate so that it's interesting to them. They want a little bit of interest. They want it to look fun. So this is really cool. This is actually from a company called Constructive Eating, and it's this really neat little set with a pusher. What I find is that parents like to play with it just as much.
Oh,
and they're kind of
true.
jealous of it. They want their own set.
They make adult
And
size.
then, yeah, I know, right? And then this is a mat that I tend to use with babies and younger toddlers. The original product was called the Happy Mat.
Oh, got it.
This is the mini mat.
That's cute.
So this is a tiny cup, and it actually, parents in my baby-led weaning classes that I teach will joke that it looks like a shot glass. This helps babies learn how to drink from an open cup. And sometimes when babies start with like a sippy cup or a straw, they don't close their lips around it and they let all the water fall out. So this helps them kind of close their lips and swallow. And so we actually teach our clients a progression of working from this to a straw cup to some other cups.
Once again, thank you for having us in your home today, sharing all your success. Your journey's been really incredible.
Thank you.
Have a great day, and here's to your American dream.